Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Heather Myers. Here at CBS 8, we are working for you and getting to the bottom of problems you've asked about. We're looking for solutions. We begin with a common scam called seller impersonation fraud. We spoke with a family in Campo who says their piece of land popped up for sale on a few real estate sites, but they were never selling it. CBS 8's David Gottfredson is working for you to expose the red flags that you need to watch out for.
Wayne Harple and his wife purchased this 10-acre parcel in Campo about a decade ago. They planned to hold on to it, maybe build a house someday.
Just a standard well house.
So imagine their surprise when a real estate agent recently notified them the property had been listed for sale.
It was listed with at least 4 different real estate agents.
A scam artist listed it, pretending to be Wayne and his wife. It didn't take long for the property to pop up on several real estate websites. That's when Wayne's father-in-law, Larry Johnson, started investigating.
They have an email address now that uses Cheryl and Wayne's name in it, which is false. They have a telephone number which we trace to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
The scam is called seller impersonation fraud, typically targeting vacant lots or vacation rentals that are mortgage-free. The scam artist lists the property below market value and claims to be out of the country and requiring purchase money to be wired.
If they're able to sell it or get a deed of trust or refinance it, they're going to look at quite a windfall.
I reached out to John Dunn, a deputy district attorney in the DA's real estate fraud unit. He sees about 1 or 2 of these scams every month.
They're going to send out 1,000 requests to list a property and just hopes that 1 or 2 get past the initial screening and get it listed and ultimately for sale.
One thing you can do, register for an owner alert with the county recorder's office. You'll get an email notification whenever a transfer of ownership is recorded on your land. Unfortunately, by the time a transfer is recorded, it may be too late.
The realtors and the escrow title agents and officers are the first line.
The DA's office tries to educate real estate agents to recognize the red flags. Fortunately, the landowners in Campo found out in time.
If you have a lot in California, you don't go and visit a lot, you should check the status. Make sure your lot is not being sold and you don't know about it.
We'll put a link to the County Recorder's Office Owner Alert registration page at CBS8.com. Working for you in Campo, David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Meanwhile, scammers are trying to take advantage of last month's massive Crowdstrike outage. People are getting messages claiming to be from Crowdstrike or offering to help after the outage. CBS 8's Alex Lai is working for you and spoke with a local cybersecurity expert about the latest scam.
Somebody can reach out to you and say, hey, we heard you're affected by the Crowdstrike issue. We're here to help. We just need this information from you.
If you get a message regarding the Crowdstrike outage, it's likely a scam.
Immediately after it happened, the attackers sprung into action and they decided that, this is a good opportunity to take advantage of.
Nicholas Behar is an adjunct professor of cybersecurity at the University of San Diego.
It's just something that can happen to anybody. They're pretty indiscriminate.
He says people targeted are messaged mainly through email and social media and are asked to share personal information or download a file.
It can give the attackers backdoors into your systems. It can log all of the information that you're typing onto your keyboard. It can take screenshots. It can hijack sessions. It just depends on what the attacker decides to do with that particular file.
And some people getting scammed weren't even affected by the outage.
If somebody's asking you about Crowdstrike and you're at home and you don't work for a very large organization or you're on your home computer, there's a good chance that it's going to be a scam.
So what do you do if you get a message from an organization regarding the Crowdstrike outage?
And call them directly on the number on their website or on the back of your card or in the app, right? Don't go ahead and respond to that email or call the number that's been sent in the email. Always reach out to the organization via their official communication channels.
That was Alex Lai reporting. Now, Behar says scams referencing Crowdstrike outage will eventually die down. And if you are experiencing some real issues with Crowdstrike, just go to the company's official website. Crowdstrike also has a guidance hub on its blog, and we have a direct link to that in the web version of the story. Go to our website at cbs8.com. Now to an update on a Working For You story that we have been following since April. Homeless encampments on the I-15 corridor in City Heights, they're gone now. The encampments were set up near the Central Avenue mini park just 30 feet from a playground. People who are frustrated pushed the city to take action but got no response. Since then, we have learned that homeless outreach teams started at the end of April. The encampments were cleared out last month.
Was 4 outreach specialists and a street medicine team engaging individuals, having conversations, and really understanding like what's going on and how can we help and how can we address this for you and identify housing stabilization plans.
The city says so far 18 people went into shelters, 3 have been reunited with family, and 5 have been moved into permanent housing with 8 more people on the way.
We believe that the human rights of these people should prevail over some inconvenience.
We also have an update on a Working For You story about asylum seekers who had set up camp at Cesar Chavez Park in Barrio Logan. We have learned that some of them left after Port of San Diego police started issuing notices telling people to leave the park, but there are growing concerns about where the people who were living there, including families with young children, will go. Some local organizations stepped in to help the asylum seekers with short-term hotel stays. We spoke to Ian Cerullo, the chair of the San Diego Immigrant Rights Consortium. He says the process of seeking asylum, it's a lengthy one. So while these families were allowed into the U.S., they cannot legally work until their court date. And he says that means most do not have the means to provide roofs over their heads.
Them in a hotel today and tomorrow they will be back somewhere else. Once they are given those paperwork that includes a notice to appear, the notice to appear will include information as to when they should report to the court date, which is usually months away.
Cerullo is urging both the city and the county to work together to find better solutions, saying there's not enough shelter beds available. Port officials say officers have not issued citations nor made any arrests. They also say they are working with their community partners to help get those families the resources that they need. The county has issued a violation notice over sewage continuing to spill into the Tijuana River Valley. The San Diego County Air Pollution Control District says the International Boundary and Water Commission and its contractor are responsible for releasing hundreds of thousands of gallons of wastewater containing sewage that impacts the surrounding air. CBS 8's Shannon Handy is Working For You and spoke to community leaders, including the mayor of Imperial Beach.
This isn't a new issue for people living here in the Tijuana River Valley, but the county says it issued this most recent notice of violation after getting 150 complaints regarding odor in just the past week.
It's undescribable. It's like worse than a porta potty that's tipped over or whatever. It's even worse than that.
Danny Howard has lived in Esther for 25 years and says it smells worse now than ever before.
God forbid if you want to come outside and take a late night walk or something, with your dog. But now I can't even do that because you might be out there a few feet or, a couple hundred yards and it hits you.
Danny and his wife say the odor is so unbearable. Not only do they avoid walking outside, but they also can't open their windows. Other neighbors told me the same thing. Even though they didn't have to, I experienced it firsthand.
I'm here on Saturn. You can see water rushing under the row here with a layer of white foam on top. On the ground, someone wrote, "Take a deep breath." I can tell you the smell out here is just as bad as neighbors describe.
When we're getting hundreds of complaints of sewage odors where folks can't open their windows, can't take their kids to the park, that's a huge concern for us.
Paula Forbes is an air pollution control officer with the county's Air Pollution Control District. She says they've never received so many complaints on this issue. After investigating, the agency found elevated levels of hydrogen sulfide, a colorless gas known for its rotten egg odor. Forbes says it doesn't exceed levels that pose a health risk, but it was enough for the agency to issue a notice of violation violation to the International Boundary and Water Commission and its contractor for causing a public nuisance. The smell is the result of them failing to properly maintain the Hollister wastewater pump station, which sends sewage flowing into the area.
It failed in June, resulting in approximately 300,000 gallons of this flow to go into the Tijuana River.
Forbes says while there's been fewer complaints, the issue has not been resolved. She plans to follow up until there's compliance. Meanwhile, Imperial Beach Mayor Paloma Aguirre tells me she hopes this notice of violation will convince the governor to declare a state of emergency for an issue that has plagued the area for far too long.
That request has been denied by our governor. But I think that having this as proof of how broad and how severe this is harming these communities, I would hope that it helps persuade him to take further action.
Shanna Handy, CBS 8.
Next, some local water districts are suing San Diego. Coming up, why they say the city is responsible for their losses, totaling more than $20 million. And later, why one financial analyst says you should not panic about your investments despite the rough week on Wall Street. Two local water districts have filed a lawsuit alleging that the city of San Diego failed to maintain the Lake Hodges Dam for years, and it's costing them. The districts say they have lost $21 million because of water being released there over safety concerns. CBS 8's David Gottfredson is working for you and says water being released from Lake Hodges will continue for at least another decade.
The regulator has mandated these water restrictions.
The Santa Fe Irrigation District and the San Dieguito Water District are suing the city of San Diego, alleging the city is to blame for not maintaining Lake Hodges Dam since at least 2008. A state agency ordered the water lowered on Lake Hodges because of safety concerns, leading to the release of 11 billion gallons of water since last year. The cost to the districts to replace this local water with imported water amounts to in excess of $21 million in lost water to the districts, according to the lawsuit. Additionally, the water districts say customers have seen up to a 40% increase in their water bills due to the loss of water from Lake Hodges.
We do not envision being able to operate the reservoir at a higher level until the time that we replace the dam.
It's going to take at least 10 years to build a new dam at Lake Hodges at an estimated cost of $275 million. So the release of water into the ocean will continue.
We also don't fully realize the condition of our dams and what exactly we need to do about them.
That passed unanimously 8-0.
The San Diego City Council voted on Tuesday to pay $100 million to a consulting firm for the next decade to assess the condition of all 11 dams maintained by the city of San Diego, including Lake Hodges Dam.
In the GEI consultants, we've done work with the city before, right? We've worked with them. Have they performed well? Everything's okay?
Yes, so they've been working with us since 2015 and helping us build our dam safety program. They've completed condition assessments for us, risk analysis, long-term improvement plans, and they've supported us in getting us to where we are today.
The city of San Diego tells me they do not comment on pending litigation. Meanwhile, the city still has not awarded a contract for the replacement of Lake Hodges Dam, but there is some good news to report. The water has stopped being released from Lake Hodges Dam because we hardly get any rain during the summer months. David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Coming up next, after markets went into a tailspin, some investors fear that more volatility could be on the horizon. What one financial analyst says you should do to help weather the shaky market. Time now for Working for Your Wallet. We are learning that a Wall Street company called Blackstone owns more than 60 apartment buildings across San Diego. This is according to a new report from the nonprofit watchdog group called the Private Equity Stakeholder Project. It also found that rents in Blackstone buildings have gone up, nearly double the market average over the past 3 years. After looking into the rent hikes, we found that Blackstone isn't doing anything illegal. Current law only allows rent to go up by so much for existing tenants. The nonprofit says that's prompting Blackstone to evict people and then raise the rent for new tenants.
I believe that people have a right to housing. And while companies may have a right to also to make money, it shouldn't be in a way that prevents people from being able to have a place to live.
A spokesperson for Blackstone sent us a statement saying average rents at their San Diego communities are 20% below the San Diego market average. The company also says that resident review scores have increased 40% under their new ownership. Meanwhile, a new study suggests that where you live can make a difference in how much rent you pay per square foot. The report from rentcafe.com looks at how much space a renter can get in San Diego County for $1,500 a month. So here's what it found. In the city of San Diego, $1,500 a month gets you 442 square feet. In Escondido, that amount gets you 543 square feet. 510 in Chula Vista, and in Oceanside, you get 497 square feet. Overall, that is less than what you got 2 years ago. In 2022, $1,500 would get you 623 square feet in Escondido and 598 in Chula Vista. The nosedive that the global market in Wall Street took recently has some investors feeling a bit frantic, but experts say it was by no means a crash. CBS 8's Abby Black spoke to a financial advisor who shared some insight. She explains that the expert says there's no need to panic and why it's a good idea, though, to keep an eye on your money.
The closing bell marked a tough day on Wall Street. This after Japan's Nikkei index plunged 12%, marking the worst day since 1987.
The economy is definitely slowing down. There's no question. So, what does that mean?
I reached out to David Reyes, a San Diego-based financial advisor who says this is the time of year for a volatile stock market, and it was expected to happen.
October 2022 was kind of a low. So the market's really been kind of on fire since then. So the reality right now, it's more of a normal kind of correction.
The market's reacting to the jobs report the U.S. Department of Labor released on Friday. I found that employment rose from 4.1% to 4.3%, the highest in 3 years, and hiring is much slower than experts expected.
It's really the economy, you got the election, interest rates, right, geopolitical fears. You have really four things that are driving the markets right now.
Working for you, we asked Reyes, what does the shaky market mean and how does it impact your money?
If you're in your 20s, 30s, even 40s, my best advice, just keep saving your money. Maximize your 401ks.
Financial experts say that there's no need to panic and sell off stocks, but they do recommend that retirees or those close to retirement need to manage their risk in what's being called a carnage market.
If you're 55 plus, you need to start really paying attention because your nest egg you have is a lot more than what you're saving every month.
Reyes says his advice applies to all kinds of savers, whether it be teachers or corporate executives. The principles to protect your money remain the same.
People don't have money because they were great stock pickers or they saved their money. So save your money, make sure your allocations are appropriate for you so you don't get so nervous when market volatility happens like this, and that will keep you sane and keep you from making rash decisions.
All right, that was Abby Black reporting. That's going to do it for us. Remember, if there is something that you would like us to look into, you can email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.